Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Becky,
And I'm Rachelle.
and we are the BoatHouse Girls.
And Happy New Year because we haven't seen you in a while. Because,
Mm.
holidays, life.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Happy New Year, cousin.
Happy New Year. Even though I just saw you, but Happy New Year. So today we're going to start with our boathouse memory. And I wanted to talk about part of the reason why the boathouse is so special and important is because there was a lack of entertainment at the lake when we were children. Our parents did not even really believe in having a TV at the lake back then. There was a little black and white one that eventually got there just because they finally realized they had to figure out thunderstorm warnings and track those. So that was like in a closet or was not to be touched, and it only got like 1.5 channels. I think it got channel 13 PBS.
Yes, it did. I remember that.
And a very fuzzy WDAY.
Very fuzzy.
Shout
yes,
out
it came
to WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Marv Bossert. Yeah.
Marv. I met him once in person.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, he's a good guy. Such a good guy. And actually he lived right down the street from my parents in the same development. But, anyway, you were saying about the boathouse.
Yes, and Weatherman Dewey.
Yes.
You can't talk about Marv without Weatherman Dewey.
You can't.
Anyway, there was nothing.
No,
there was no phone. There was, for a purpose. When you went to the lake, you got away. So there was no phone. There was no TV, way, way before cell phones. So that's why we had the desperation of we needed to go outside as soon as we could. Because when we were inside, there was the limited amount of toys. And if it was a rainy week when you went to the lake, that was like devastation to us as children.
It was. It truly was. Because all we really wanted to do was be in the water.
Exactly.
Honestly. That's
and
it.
all our parents really wanted for us was to get out of the lake house cabin and get in the water. Get away.
Absolutely.
So I believe the rule was we could get in the lake after 11. And if the water or if the outdoor air temp hits 74, or was it 78?
I think it was lower 70s than that because they knew they were going to be losing the battle all the time. Yeah. We would be whining constantly. And so especially Memorial Day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Memorial Day weekends were just frigid a couple times when we were there, but we would still just beg to go in the water, even though it was way too early to be swimming.
I do remember you and your brother Joel and I standing outside a few times where there was a giant thermometer attached to the deck, just waiting. What's the temperature now in our swimsuits?
Was it there or was it on a tree? I couldn't remember.
It might have been on a tree, but it was right near where that deck was. I think for a while it might have been on the deck railing. And then I know my grandparents had one on a tree for a while.
That's what I'm thinking.
And we would stand out there.
Was it in the shade? Did it
get
direct sun?
That was the other thing. We were waiting. 11 is usually when it hit direct sun more, or when the sun came through the cottonwoods. May they rest in peace. Yeah. And then the temp would rise and we'd be yelling, it's 74, listen. But we would already be in our swim gear. All the toys would be out on the beach. We are ready.
We were in our swim gear every time, like right after breakfast, brush your teeth, get your swimsuit on. It really wasn't a question. We were going to put it on as soon as they let us. So
yes.
Sorry, I have something in my eye. So you go ahead and chat while I remove the plank from my eye.
Giant slab of wood in my eye.
Oh, yeah. I remember one particular weekend when it was Memorial Day weekend and it was frigid and we all had on jeans and our jackets, and that was necessary because it was cold. And you and Joel, being 2 and 3 years older than I was, were taller and wanted to go wading into the lake.
I know where
And
this is going.
of course,
That's my guilty.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, I mean, wherever you two went, I went, and I just
Mhm.
couldn't. I wanted to do what you were doing every time. And into the water you waded, and so did I. And you two turned around and said, "You can't do this. You're going to get us in trouble because you're going to get your pants wet because you're too short." And yeah, I was not listening. And waited out, and of course got very wet and very in trouble for getting in the water,
Yes,
even
and
though we
Joel
weren't
and I
supposed
tried
to.
the whole we weren't gonna get in, but Becky got in and we had to save her.
Yes, you did. I do remember that. And then trying to stand up for myself and say, "No, I didn't. I followed
We had no choice. She was gonna drown in the waves.
them."
2 against 1. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Poor
Oops.
Becky.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that apology 40 years later.
Yeah, at least. Probably more.
And I have talked to my mom about that weekend since then. I think it's come up numerous times because our brothers were really little. They were babies.
They were.
And you guys had the camper at the time.
Mhm.
That was before we even had the trailer house there.
Yeah.
Or you had the trailer house there. And my parents our dads were somewhere getting gas.
Going to look at the crops.
Getting apart. Yeah. And the moms were stuck in that little camper the whole weekend in the rain and the cold with the babies and us, and the dads were nowhere around. And so now that I know, after getting in trouble for going into the water and doing what I wasn't supposed to, I realized that our mothers were just as miserable that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
As we were, because we couldn't get in the water and recreate. Yeah. So I give them a little sympathy too now.
Yeah.
It took a while.
And then I had guilt because when the dads did come home.
Yeah. I was just going to say this.
The moms, I believe there was some wine involved with the moms. But
understandably,
the dads were told what the children did.
Yeah.
And we were reading our comic books from Rocky's Resort.
On the bunk beds. Yeah.
In the bunk beds. You and your dad came in, and I remember him grabbing both you and Joel at the same time.
Yes.
And not letting go. And you were in serious trouble. And then my dad was like, I just sat there, and my dad's like, don't do it again.
Yeah. And you had prefaced this whole thing. Joel and I were sitting there scared because we knew what was coming when Dad found out. And you were sitting there going, I won't get in trouble. My dad won't get mad at me. And Joel and I were like, no, of course you're going to get in trouble. If we get in trouble, you should get in trouble. And man, I was on that top bunk and I smushed myself back against the wall as far as I could. And I remember Dad got a hold of my big toe and gave it a
whatever he could reach.
Whatever he could reach. And I don't remember, you got a hold of Joel somehow too, but
so you were both like, Joel was over with me and you were over at 2 hours for 1, and he just like gotcha.
I'm skilled at getting my children. Yeah. But you know what? Even for Bart punishments, that one was pretty short-lived.
Oh yeah.
It was a bark and a toe wrench in my case. I don't know what Joel got. Probably an ear pull or something. But
well, the crops were good that day. So
as was the hydration.
The joy was spreading. That's what happened. But yeah, the boathouse had a lot of value because on rainy days, man. Oh.
Yeah. Do you remember going into the boathouse and writing in the sand dirt bottom? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we had, I don't know if we were playing school or something in there, but we had all sorts of stuff written and drawn just in the floor. And we thought that was pretty cool. And, came in pretty dusty and dirty from that. But our moms weren't too upset because we had been out in the boathouse and out of their hair for a couple days or for a couple hours.
It was a refuge for everybody at the lake.
It was.
Yes.
I don't know that I would want to go play on the dirt floor now because
No,
I
you
have a
would not.
feeling many critters have crossed that
Yes.
over the
And
years.
actually, this was the first Christmas I've ever spent at the lake. Um, so I saw the boathouse in all of its glory in the
Yeah.
snow. Um,
Were you were you able to go inside?
I didn't dare. You know, I have a fear of rodents, so
Yeah. And
I
I
was
have
not
no doubt
about
they were staying
to
toasty in there. Yeah.
bring the joy. Plus, that was the day when I wasn't feeling well and it was cold out. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but, but yeah, it's there in the
Yes,
snow
everyone.
doing its thing.
My cousin and her husband and their two children, aka their canine children,
Yes.
uh, they got in the car and drove all the
Mhm.
way from South Texas to central to northern, or I would say north central Minnesota at
Sure.
that point. Yeah. And you stayed what, 2 nights? Three.
We drove to Kansas City, which is like 14 and a half hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stopped and saw my brother and his children and had like an early Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, so we had one full day in Kansas City. And then we drove the rest of the trip, which is like another 10. The whole trip altogether is about 24 hours
Yeah.
one way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And then you stayed a couple nights and celebrated Christmas and got deathly ill, you poor girl. And what we figured strep throat and ear infections, a double
It's
whammy.
something of something because I could feel
Yeah.
it in my ears and stuff.
Yeah.
And then 24 hours all the way back home in 2 days.
Good times.
Woo!
Good
Which brings
times.
me to my topic for tonight.
What's that?
Family vacations.
Oh boy. Are we talking
So
within our little families or are we talking like Bartholomew family get
I
together
think
vacation?
it's a combination of that. And I am curious to see if other Gen Xers have had the same experience because in my gut, I feel like we have because we've had the same experiences in so many things. But family vacation, especially for our family, extended family, involved long road trips.
Yep.
Always. I never even got
Always.
on my first plane until I was 15.
Yeah.
And then it was to go see Aunt Connie, Uncle Don, and Trent for spring break. To go see y'all and
Really?
Carla and Linnell and Brett. Yeah. We went,
Huh.
I flew up. It was my first flight. My friend Wendy and I went to Minneapolis. So the flight was like, what, an hour?
45 minutes.
Hour, 15 minutes.
From Kansas City. Yeah.
That was my first flight because you
great.
just drove everywhere. It didn't.
For sure.
And the Bartholomews to this day will drive.
They do. We've had people who have married into the Bartholomew family say this more than once, that they have never known anybody who gets together like the Bartholomew family does.
Yeah.
And we still really enjoy seeing each other when we get a chance. But you're right, everybody is all over the nation and we just fly in or drive forever to get there. And yeah, I would say that started with family vacations when we were little.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go.
Yeah. And I mean, when I was little, like, we didn't do big vacations. I mean, we didn't grow up with lots of money. We weren't going to do that, but we had the lake property. So that was like the vacation most times, especially in the summer. And the big vacation was usually a trip to the cities, or as if you don't live in the upper Midwest, that'd be Minneapolis and St. Paul, to go see our aunt and uncle and all of our cousins. That was a big deal. And back then it felt like that was like 12 hours in the car.
Oh, it felt like it took forever. Yeah. For us, for my family,
how far
too,
is it realistically though?
I want to say it was like a 5-hour drive for us.
It felt like it was forever.
Yeah, it did. And I agree with you. I think that was our major family trips, was usually to go see McKay's in Minnesota by the cities. Yep.
When we moved to Kansas when I was 14, and Well, Aunt Shirley was in South Dakota. Uncle Leon, I think he had moved to Colorado at that point already or was about to. And
Mm-hmm.
then you guys were still up north.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had, right. So that's when the siblings, which is what we call them, all the brothers and sisters, decided that they needed to get together for a holiday and they chose Easter. And we would drive
Yes.
halfway was determined between North Dakota and I guess us and Kansas and everyone over more west was the fun and exciting city, ladies and gentlemen, Sioux City, Iowa.
It was, and we all
Downtown
piled
Sioux
into
City,
cars.
Iowa.
That's correct. That is correct.
Uh,
I remember a lot of swimming pool time, a lot of, it was nice. I mean, the weather was nice. We were
yeah, the
outside a
weather was
little
good.
bit, but
For you
yeah, I
guys,
remember
yeah.
walking, well, yeah, for us, walking to a movie theater and we saw Pretty in
Yes,
Pink.
for the very
That was
first
a big
time.
deal. The
Cousins Trent and
boy,
Joel, I don't think they have, I think your brother and cousin Trent have forgiven us for that movie choice yet.
I don't think so. Joel said he actually figured out during that movie that his back hurt. He said, I was so bored, I realized my back hurt.
What was the movie they wanted to see? And for some reason, they let us have our way, which is,
It was like The Money Pit or something.
well, it was
I
a good movie
remember.
too.
Well, yeah, but we were there for Pretty in Pink. I mean,
we
look
were.
at us. We've got pink headphones or rose colored headphones. I'm wearing pink. We were going to a movie called Pretty in
Pretty in
Pink.
Pink
So
with
yeah.
Andrew McCarthy. Yes. Yeah,
I'm
I mean, we
impressed
had that,
they
and there was
didn't
like a shopping
argue.
mall near that. It was weird. It was like one building, not a big one, but there were some stores and stuff, and we were all teen, preteen,
Yeah. Yeah, we were
ready to get in some
teenagers.
trouble in the big town of Sioux City.
Ooh, yeah, I guess, and that's where the question is. I wonder what Gen Xers, when they think, the majority of Gen Xers out there, what do you think of when you think family vacation?
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think right away of the National Lampoon's Vacation movie.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
shove into a vehicle, drive and see some relatives, and on the way or while you're there or whatever works out best geographically, if there's something fun to do, we'll make a little detour maybe, or we'll make a little side trip.
Depends on, are we on the itinerary or not?
Oh, right. And that's only if you didn't ask for the extra bathroom break during the drive time. If you did that,
and you're not stopping for food because mom got up early and made those sandwiches and they're in the igloo cooler.
Oh,
that's in between you and your siblings, taking up car space.
And then pretty soon your feet fall asleep because you've got them propped up on the cooler. Oh, I know. Yeah. And Bart was a classic one for, oh, you can hold it. Yeah. Well, we'll stop in about an hour. And, there was more than one Bartholomew kid crying in the back seat at one point because we thought we were going to wet ourselves. You can make it. We're going to stop. Hang on. We'll stop up here in a little bit. Oh, we learned if we don't get a specific mileage of when we're stopping, then we're really in trouble. So,
okay. Yeah. And I think I inherited that a little bit. I don't know. I think I did better maybe on this trip, but when I used to make the drive from South Texas to Minnesota in the summers by myself before I knew Sean, it was a stop, go to the restroom, grab some food, fill up the gas tank. If I had the dog, walk the dog real quick, boom, back in the car. And you didn't stop again until your tank was at a quarter.
I'm the same. Oh, I'm the same now. Although when my kids were younger, I definitely stopped more than Dad did when we were young. And there were more places to stop too.
Oh, yeah. There's tons more now. Back then, there was not a lot through South Dakota. That was the route you took. And then eventually, the family decided, well, we've seen the beautiful city of Sioux City at least twice. So let's try other cities. So one year we did Omaha.
Yeah, we did.
Council Bluffs, Omaha. That had a zoo, though. That was nice.
It did. We did. We did Sioux Falls one year too.
And then we did Sioux Falls. And then around the time I graduated from high school, we quit doing it.
We did. Yeah. The one year we didn't meet in the spring because we were in Rapid City for Aunt Shirley's wedding at Christmas time.
Yes.
It was pretty cool. I remember thinking that was pretty neat.
Yes. That's when our car stalled on the middle of
Yeah.
I-29 and Council Bluffs. And my dad hopped out and said, "Stay in the car." And we had grandma. We had grandma with us.
Oh, I forgot.
And he like hopped out on the interstate, climbed down a hill, got to a gas station. Somehow they called a tow truck and they took us into a car dealership. And so we were driving the Pontiac Catalina, right? That dad
Mhm.
put an Oldsmobile engine in,
I remember this. Yes.
which was the first car I drove in high school. That's another story. But uh, the guy, I remember sitting there and the guy opened the hood and he looked at dad and he said, "Oh, what have you done here?" And
And
then we,
Larry stood back and said, "You don't like my art? What? Look at this
and
thing of
dad's like,
beauty.
"Oh,
I've
but
created this."
yes. So
It's like Frankenstein.
So we spent several
It's
hours in a
alive.
detour. Grandma and I caught up on our soaps in the waiting room as,
Oh,
as the car got fixed.
I
And then we
remember.
rolled in. We didn't get to Rapid City. God, it was probably like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. I
So
remember when we
tired the
got
next day.
there and hearing that you guys had road trouble, and we were like, "Oh," and I remember being bummed because you weren't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because we had car trouble on the way there too. We had the old Waldock conversion van that
Yeah.
mom and dad drove, and
Sexy.
we ran inside to grab breakfast at, I don't know, even know where we were, but grabbed some fast food breakfast and then came out and it wouldn't start. And then we were like a few hours into our trip by then. So of course we all had a little panic, but a guy next to
Yeah.
us jumped us and it did fine after that. So I don't know.
No.
Something with the battery.
But that was my last, like, I think, being a teenager and being in the car with my mom, my dad, my two little brothers, who one of them to this day, I can't remember which one it was, but it was, "He's breathing on me,"
Oh yeah.
and grandma.
Yeah. Well, think about it.
Grandma,
Okay, so was your mom and dad in the front, I'm assuming, and then a kid between them, probably?
no,
There were
we didn't
four of you
allow
squished in the back seat?
we didn't allow kids to sit in the front seat. That's not safe.
Well, no, but if you were Becky when you were little, you were constantly getting car sick in the back of the big old Buick.
Mm.
And your parents took pity on you and finally put you up front with them, and then life was better. But,
I
it
mean,
was either
maybe Michael was in the front and his car seat in the middle, maybe.
I don't know.
But I just
I
remember, like, all the way there, the one thing grandma was known for on road trips was reading
reading the
every
paper.
single headline that she saw in the paper, every ad.
Yeah.
And then when the
Yeah.
paper was done, she'd read you every billboard along the way.
She
You always knew what
did.
was going on.
And God bless her. She wanted to have dialogue with her grandchildren on a
Yeah.
road trip. Now I look at that and I think, oh, that was sweet. That was cool. And she was making the best of a squishy
And she was just
situation.
always happy. She wasn't
She
bothered by the car
was.
being stalled. She wasn't mad at her son-in-law. It was just like,
Eh,
we fixed the car and we keep going.
oh,
Yeah.
boy, if there was a woman who could go with the flow on road trips, it was grandma. That is for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she would take pictures along the way. I do remember, it was December, so there was snow, of course,
Mhm.
even though it's usually a little warmer in Rapid City than it is here where we were in North
Yeah,
Dakota.
there
But
wasn't a lot of snow. It was
no, and
mm,
I remember the day Shirley and Terry got married. It was a beautiful, sunny, warm day.
mhm.
So it was gorgeous. But the day before, when we had first rolled in, we went past where we were going to stay and kept going because we were going to go see Mount Rushmore. And I believe I believe we have a few family photos of all of us out there in our coats.
Mhm.
We teenagers were not overly excited about getting the photo taken. And,
Mhm.
it's cold. There's a tourist center and all stuff, but then it was basically you hopped out of the car and looked at some rocks
You walked
and got
about
back in
200
the car.
feet, took your photo. I think
Yep.
we went on our way out of Sioux City. We stopped. Mom wanted to see Mount
Ah,
Rushmore. We stopped. So it was a little bit
yeah.
warmer the day we went.
Oh, good. That was smart.
Yeah.
Not warm when we
But yeah,
went.
once again, this is a family vacation.
It is.
We
It
spend
is.
more time in the car than you do at the actual place where you're staying for the sake of the vacation.
So true. So true. And
And I just
especially we
repeated
as
that at
kids.
Christmas.
You did.
I
Hey,
did.
you might need to work on breaking that pattern, my friend.
What have I done? No.
Break the chain. Well, and I think even more so for us kids, because we would get there and like, and this happened more than once. If we were there for somebody's wedding or something, if there was a reception or a gathering held after the wedding, it was often in a place that served alcohol, like a bar with a dance floor, that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
more than once, we kids weren't allowed to go in for that stuff. And so
Yeah.
we would just kind of be shooed off to do whatever. And usually we'd hang out together in a hotel room or something, but
Mhm.
you get a little bored. You know,
It
you
was like
can't
being
run
at the lake
around.
on a rainy day. What are
And
we
we
supposed
come
to
full
do?
circle. Yes,
What are
yeah.
we supposed to do? A lot of
Man, I
times
would
as we got older, you and I ended up, and you know what? Poor our cousin Linnell, she was that role for a long time
mm,
where she had to look after us too. But
yeah, poor
as we
Linnell.
got older, we were like, watch this child, watch that child, and don't leave the
Mhm,
hotel room. What?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, the
I think
unpaid
we made up
babysitters.
for that. I think we made up for that the year that we had a family reunion in Detroit Lakes at the hotel right on the beach, and we were we were in our 30s by then.
Yeah. I
And
flew to that. See, I was smart. I
you
flew to
were
that one.
smart.
Yes, our family for years, we
Oh.
haven't done one now since what? Maybe wow.
Well, we were just
Wow.
in Rapid City again for
Oh, that's true. I just
our
wasn't there.
our smaller
A
family get
smaller family.
together.
But
Yeah.
a long time ago, it was a huge we'll go into the family history some other day, but huge, massive gathering in the very small
Hundreds.
town where our parents grew up. That usually is a population of what, 250-ish back then.
Then,
Then,
yeah, now
now,
it's not even
no.
100. Yeah.
Um, and like the population would increase by like 1,000% with all of the people there. I do remember the first one we ever took in the Sheldon gym. We took a family photo, and the
Mm.
photographer had to take it in sections because we
Yep.
filled up the bleachers and there were so many rows on the floor. Now, granted, the Sheldon gym only had like 4 rows of bleachers, but
Yeah. Wasn't much.
but it was a sectional photo. And then they would have those, they were big deals, and then they've kind of shrunk down to just our
Mhm.
immediate family. But the one you're talking about was the last time it was multiple branches invited, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, we met cousins who had the different spelling of the last name who we were still equally related to. And there were some that we had never met before from that
Yeah.
branch. And so that was fun. It was a good time. We made up for all of those years of having to sit in the room and do nothing or watch the kids, because I had young kids at that time
You
and my
did.
husband was in charge of them for the night. And you and I, well, we were singing karaoke at one point.
Yes. With
We
cousin
were,
Trent.
yep. And we were buying rounds for a lot of the relatives.
Oh, I
And
didn't
then they
buy
were,
anything.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Now, I don't want everyone listening to think that means that I'm cheap. What it means is the bartender was very giving that evening.
Yes. Very kind,
Very
young
kind to
gentleman
me. Yes.
who was very kind to Rachelle. Yes. Loved it. It worked.
And
It was
yeah,
great.
I just know that bar tab should have been like over $100, and it was
More,
like
yeah.
$20.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. And anyway, we made up for it that night. There was a lot of walking around involved for breakfast. There was wondering where cousin Jeff was, and he walked out of the fog and on cue.
Cousin Jeff, the family Beetlejuice.
Yes, if you say his name more than once, actually, doesn't even have to be 3 times.
Just once. Well, actually, it's if you or I say it. If we're together and we say it, it happens.
Oh, I think so. We
Yeah.
might have to have an episode dedicated to Jeff, the legend, our
Jeff the
cousin Jeff.
legend.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
legendary. Let's talk a little bit about our latest get together, which
Okay.
we were just together on New Year's Day and spent about 5 days doing other Gen X things that are now pertinent in Gen Xers' lives.
Yes. Like a true Gen Xer, you just go with the flow, whatever. After the trip, I have my annual appointments that I go to every year at the Mayo Clinic because that's where Gen X is at. We have those. We have more doctor's appointments than we realized were necessary.
Yeah.
And I go every year for preventative care because we'll talk about it more in depth in another episode, but we do in our family have what's called the BRCA1 gene, which is basically the gene that can cause ovarian cancer, breast cancer. And I discovered that I had the gene after my mom got breast cancer and she got tested for it. Her doctor recommended it and she had the gene, which meant I qualified. And so now because of that, I'm able to go to one of the best hospitals in the country and do extra testing every year. And, it's been a good experience. And on top of, and I'll go more deep into why all that stuff matters so much. But essentially, when I do this trip, especially this year, because my husband went on the main trip already with me
for Christmas.
And I had to turn around after we got home, like 3 days later, after I recovered from being sick, get on a plane because I already made those reservations before we planned the Christmas trip because you do all that way in advance. And then I fly in to Minneapolis and take the little trip to Rochester. And my cousin Becky here, she is driving Miss Rachelle around.
I am
She's my chauffeur on these trips.
The eagle has landed. Yes.
It has just become the girls trip weekend.
It has. We've done this 3 years in a row now, right? I believe this was year 3.
I've been going for like 5, but I think, yeah. Sean was with me on my first one. And then my friend Amy came over for one.
Yeah. And so now it's become the Becky and Rachelle thing, which if you ever want to divvy up your time with other people, I will share. However, I might reluctantly share because this has kind of turned into the fun thing that we do every year. It sounds strange to say it's fun because you're going for such a heavy, serious reason or preventive reason, but still a reason. But it's just every year
Gen X. You got to make fun out of wherever you're going and the ridiculousness of the situation in which you find yourself.
Absolutely.
Especially when you think about some of those exams that have you take, and obviously a man invented those tests, but it's comedy relief for us for me to be there on the trip.
It is. Yeah. So Gen X get-togethers at this stage in our lives, they look like one of us picking up the other at the airport, then driving for however much time we need to get to our destination and checking into a hotel after. And then from there, now at our age, we've discovered that most of the time we don't even want to go out for dinner anymore, which I used to love. Take me to a great place, give me the ambiance, give me the great food, give me the good drink pairing to go with it. I loved it all. And now you and I are so content to just get into our jammies within 10 minutes of getting into the hotel room and door dashing whatever is nearby. It's fabulous. And we watched a heck of a lot of HGTV and the Food Network.
The Food Network.
Yeah. I learned a whole lot of things that I like. But yeah, again, I'm just curious how many people are Gen Xers and are now finding this shift in the way that they travel and spend quality time together. We used to look for things to do and now we're the opposite. Yeah.
Because we're tired.
We are.
We're really I'm really tired.
And
But
we are easily entertained,
I mean, I
really.
still love a really good restaurant with good food and stuff, but I'm also
Sure.
like, if it's loud in there, why is it so loud in here? Someone turn.
Eh,
Oh my God.
kids, you turn down the music.
The service is bad. I'm outraged. But I'm also
Uh-huh.
Gen X, so I'll politely smile and say, it's okay.
When did
It's
this
not.
shift happen? I swear it was right around
Mm,
the time I turned 50. All of a sudden, that, like that difference between my students and me became glaringly obvious age-wise, no matter how much they kept me in tune with what was happening with their technology and all that kind of stuff, and popular songs, whatever. I All of a sudden it just became obvious that I was the really old one in the room
oh,
in their
yeah.
eyes. Yeah. And then at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking, no, I'd rather just order in, or just, here, I'll eat some Doritos. I'm good. I don't need to go. Oh, this wine is good with Doritos. Thanks.
What a pairing.
Yes. I mean,
What a
don't knock it
pairing.
until you try it. There's a red out there for a Doritos. I know it. Yeah. I think
Uh,
that, I think we're not alone. And I think it is equally important to applaud you for coming every year and doing your preventive care. But I had my 30th class reunion a few years ago.
mhm.
And by the time I was there for that reunion, two of the guys in my class had already had heart attacks and they weren't even 50 yet. And so, I mean, it's here. We as Gen Xers
It
are
is.
now really having to start thinking about our health. And I remember
Yes.
my grandparents saying to me when I was younger, probably high school age, and my grandma Artist said, Becky, at our age, you just get to the point that all your trips into Fargo are for your doctor's appointments. You
That's
just have
depressing.
to, yeah. I mean, and they would make the best of it and do things and, grab groceries or whatever. But
Sure.
that was their monthly trip to Fargo, was for doctoring. And I guess we are there. But we make the best of it. Again, like you said, true Gen Xers, we find the fun where we can. And this time we left Rochester over the weekend because you
Mhm.
had a break in your appointments between Friday and Monday. And we
Yes.
drove up to our cousin Brett's place in northern Minnesota.
Brett
And
and his lovely wife, Melody, who we call Mel.
absolutely. And Mel, yes. And it was a blast
It
getting to spend
was.
time with them. And cousin Trent came over. His cabin is not too far from theirs. And they have a beautiful home on a beautiful lake. And
It's
uh,
breathtaking.
the Bartholomew hospitality was strong,
Very strong.
very
Now,
strong.
yeah, it was great. Like I loved it. I hadn't spent time with Brett and Mel a
Mhm.
lot, getting older and
Mhm.
stuff. And then, Trent, we try to get together with Trent, I think, more during these trips just because he lives closer to where we are.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
and
we
we
like
also
him. And we like him.
it's just amazing you two get along now as adults. We're all
I
the whole family.
know.
Good job, guys. Good
I
job. Okay.
love
As
that. We
children,
grow
not
up
as
and we like
effective.
each other. I
Not
know.
as effective. Um,
No.
but yeah, it was a great time. Uh,
Yeah.
and cousin Brett said we should maybe make it part of the annual trip now, but he did put some stipulations on that. There will be a
As he
curfew
should.
enforced. And
Let's be
yes,
honest. We Gen Xers staying up until 3:30 talking and
it's
having
so
the
bad.
libations is not a good idea anymore.
It
We
was
don't bounce back the way we used to, but
I'm still recovering, but
yeah, I
no, but it was good conversation. It was amazing food. They're
amazing.
amazing food
Oh,
and
and it felt
stuff
it just
that
it was good for me to spend some time with them. I have always loved my cousin Brett, and and obviously Melody too. They've been together a long time, and it was so
Mhm.
fun watching them. They're just in sync as a couple, and they do things together so well. You could tell just even seeing them in their kitchen together. It was just seamless. One would ask, "Should I do this? You want me to? Okay, you do that." It was fun. It was really fun watching them and the life that
They
they've
really
built.
need their own Food Network show.
I would watch that. That would be great. Yeah. And
Gen X in the Kitchen, starring Mel and Brett.
one that's awesome with
I
Brett and
know.
Mel.
I'd watch that.
I would watch that too. And I would taste test everything for them. God, it was
Oh,
good.
yeah. That's
Do you
part
know
of the
what though?
deal.
This is one of my favorite parts of that weekend though. And I
Hmm.
told my mom this the other day actually. I I had tears in my eyes at one point in the evening, and we're sitting around their table and chatting, and Trent was there too. And it was right after Trent showed up and we were going to eat and stuff. And the two guys, Brett and Trent, just say, "Hey, okay, so you tested positive." And they're like, "Oh, and we tested positive. Becky, did you test positive?" I mean, it all became this whole conversation about our genetic health, which to me was so heartening and almost exciting because they wanted to have the conversation and they were excited to know what their genetics test said so that they could talk to their own daughters about it and help
Mhm.
them make informed decisions about their own health moving forward. And I just think about this process of our our own family members, our parents, and how they didn't know about stuff like that. They didn't talk about it much either. Our own grandmother had breast cancer before I was born. Is that
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
The
she
first time?
was it was like
Was it the 60s?
1961.
Yeah. And she had a mastectomy, and I never heard a word about it when I was growing up. Not
Mhm.
one word. The only reason I knew was one morning she got up in her nightgown and she was walking briskly to the bathroom. And you and I had been sleeping on the pull-out couch. And I noticed her nightgown was just flat on one side. And I was like, "What?" And you looked at me and said, "You didn't know grandma had breast cancer?" I was like, "No." Our families just
Yeah.
didn't talk about that stuff a whole
No.
lot.
And I think that is
And
it's a boomer trend. You don't
mhm.
talk about your health like that.
Yeah. Well,
I think
and
they're
because if
learning
you
from
are,
our
you're
generation.
complaining.
Yeah. You don't complain. And I think they're
Yes.
starting to finally learn from our generation why it's important to talk about some of these things. I don't know
Mhm.
that our cousins were excited to talk about it. I think I think it
So
was
I felt there was like a they were engaged.
I
They were
think it
involved
was
in that
engaging and they
conversation.
were informed. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
enlightening to see that, I guess, as a family member, like if something does happen, I won't feel alone about it.
Mhm.
I won't,
Yeah.
because we all are kind of in the same boat. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it was my favorite parts of the weekend was to realize how much I have in common with some of my older cousins now as an adult, even though I haven't
Mhm.
seen them all. I don't see them as much. Um, and how we've all changed in such
Mm.
positive ways. I mean, we
Mhm.
could have all gone off the rails in multiple directions based on different things.
Yeah. We really
But
could have.
just realizing that we're all doing really well and we all have, whatever that means to each of us, we all have our own path, our own passion. And I think most of us are relatively happy in that sense, which for our
Yeah.
big family, that's good news. It is good news. And
It
then we also got to see their sister Linnell, Brett's sister Linnell, and
Mhm.
Trent's sister,
Yeah.
who took care of us all the time when we were kids. Thanks, Linnell,
Always.
because
Yes. Thank you,
we were
Lynelle.
attached. We were like stage 5 clingers when cousin Linnell showed up.
We were, and we know that that was thrust upon her by our parents
We're
who told
sorry.
her to
We're
watch
so
us.
sorry, but thank
Sorry,
you.
Linnell. Linnell, you did such a great job.
You
Thank
did a
you.
good job. And we get to
Yes.
talk about, she's also an educator and some issues in education. And, like we're all in the same boat. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter if I'm way down here or you guys are way up there. There's still commonalities and stuff that connects us. And I think the
Yeah.
thing that overall makes me happy about it is grandma would be happy.
Oh, would she ever?
Yeah.
And we even saw that on because we left Brett and Mel's on Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
on the way back to Rochester, stopped at our aunt and uncle's new place. This would be Brett and Trent's mom.
Linnell,
Um,
Carla, all of them, the whole gang.
Yeah, all of them, the whole crew. And we got to see Don and Connie, our aunt and uncle, and they are in a new home that's all on one level. And they had us for brunch, and our Aunt Connie has been a primo cook since we were little. We were both excited about what she might feed us, and she did not disappoint. It was
No.
delicious. Oh,
Aunt Connie, I'll be
always
back.
so good.
I will be back for the
With
quiche. I even came
breakfast
home and
quiche.
tried to replicate it.
Did you?
I
Any luck?
tried. No, it was not it. I'm going to need Aunt Connie's real
Yep,
Aunt
Aunt
Connie
Connie.
from the north.
We
I'm from a northerner. Aunt Connie's recipe.
Yes, we
Yes,
need the
but
recipe,
yeah,
Connie.
it was so great to see them too, like happy and enjoying everything that they're doing. And one of
Yeah.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit to our Christmas.
Okay.
Speaking of cooking, and this must be like a family thing. We all enjoy good food.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, we enjoy making it. We enjoy, and I think that came from
Eating
grandma
it.
in the cafe, maybe. They had grandma and grandpa had the cafe.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I miss so much from family holidays was grandma's stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
And grandma was the type of cook where she would just like, you never saw like a recipe book really open because she didn't have a lot of counter space. It was just that big
Mm-mm.
stove. So she would just throw things in, and I just thought it was gone forever. And then on Christmas Eve this year, my mom gave me a gift, and our Aunt Shirley happened to somehow has the recipe and sent it to mom, and mom put it on a recipe card and like has it laminated for me. So I finally have, like, that's a big thing for me to get
Yeah.
that's just, I don't know how many different stuffings I've tried. My adulthood, on Thanksgiving, on holidays, trying to make it. Is this like grandma's? No. Is this
Mm-hmm.
like grandma's?
Grandma
No.
Grandma Mary's stuffing was moist. Sorry, I said the
Sorry to
word.
those of you who are offended by that word, but I don't know how you don't. It's not. You don't want to
You
say
don't want to
wet.
say wet. She had wet stuffing.
That's what, that
It was
sounds
damp. She
like it
had
was
damp.
drowning in the gravy. That doesn't
Ah,
sound right.
it was so.
If you don't like
I.
the M word, get over it, because if my
Yeah.
cake isn't that, I don't want cake either. So
Ain't it the truth? I
I'm not going to
get
call
you
it
with
wet
that.
cake.
So I just remember grandma she'd had that big, like, curved metal spoon, and she would scoop up the stuffing and she'd put it on your plate, and it would keep that shape because it had
Yes.
so much liquid in it. And, it wasn't that fluffy, dry stuffing that a lot of people like, which I like. But
I'll
yeah,
eat it.
grandma's
Yeah.
was, and
But it
hers,
was
gosh,
flavorful and it was
it
so
was.
good.
And I swear there
So
were little
good.
chunks of the turkey in there. And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
like, also, yeah. I'm excited for you to make that. You'll have to tell me if it works out
Does
for
that mean
you.
you're coming for Thanksgiving?
Can do. Absolutely. I think. I don't know. I don't know where I'll be in
That's
November,
true. We
but
don't know where you'll be. Maybe here. We don't know.
maybe.
We
Yes. Do you
we
have
don't know
a
what's happening.
do you have a
Uh,
job for me down there? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'd love to. That'd be great. I would totally taste test that stuffing
Taste
for
test
you.
the
So
stuffing. Or
I
just the next
would.
time we're together, we'll just have to make
Yeah.
stuffing, even if it's 115 degrees outside. We're doing it.
Speak Okay, also talking on the food level, I burst out laughing when we were at our aunt and uncle's and ready to eat our breakfast quiche, which was so delicious because Uncle Don, who had an almost pretty big birthday this year and was telling us about how he's slowing down and getting up there in age. These are his words, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I thought he was fantastic when we saw him, but he has always had this cast iron stomach. When we were little, the hottest thing he could find, he would eat it. I mean,
It's
spicy
true.
hot. The hottest peppers, the hottest sauces, whatever. And he sits down, and he scoots the walk over, sits down, and he grabs that big thing of hot sauce. And I laughed and said, "Oh, I see you're still eating the hot sauce like crazy." And he was like, "Oh, heck yeah." And proceeded to drench his entire piece of quiche. There was no quiche visible. It was nothing but red sauce all over and across the plate. I mean, he doesn't, it's not it's not a condiment. It is
It
a
is to
layer.
Uncle Don.
It, it is the food. It is one of the main
It
courses.
was the one thing he wanted to make sure was on the table.
Absolutely.
And then when we were getting up and clearing the table, it was the one thing he protected and took back to the fridge. Keep the hot sauce safe. Keep it safe.
I should have asked him. I wonder what he puts it on that most people wouldn't even think of. Does he have some things that he loves hot sauce on that are not the
Oh.
norm? That would be a question for Uncle Don moving forward. Like, does he put it on his cinnamon rolls or some weird thing? Who knows? I doubt it.
That's better not put him on my mother's cinnamon rolls. Caramel rolls. Don't touch Betty's caramel rolls. They're perfect.
Oh no.
No.
Those are delicious.
No. That just sounds horrible.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh,
yeah.
So we had
but anyway, we've had quite the adventure.
We did. We drove all over the place.
And I had something to say, but it went right out of my brain.
It's gone. I keep thinking about driving up the back roads from Rochester up to northern Wisconsin and going past all those little country bars and feeling like my DNA was just saying, you got to pull in. It looks like home. A little rural bar.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Pull in. Yeah.
There's something about the little glowing bar lights in the darkness and seeing the cars and the pickups parked and there's some guy named Bert or Dewey or whatever on his regular stool and he'll buy you a beer and it just feels like home to me. And I felt like I kept feeling like I should pull in.
Just take a quick right or left because if you missed one, there'll be another one in a few blocks.
Well, and let's face it, I live in Minnesota and I'm a Packer fan and
that's rough.
It is the mother territory. The motherland. I should have pulled in. Been around my people.
You would have been welcome finally by your people. Welcome.
I live just an hour from the Wisconsin
and they would have
border.
loved you. And you know why? Because you smell unstoppable.
Which, if anybody can explain to us what unstoppable smells like us, or if it smells like, just let us know, please.
What does that mean? I'm not going to buy your product, your perfume or deodorant, or whatever the product is, if your tagline is smell unstoppable. In a good way?
Right, unstoppable. What?
Right.
Yeah,
it's right up there with
smoky fresh.
Yes,
that was the other one.
If you want to win on the Food Network on any show, all you got to do is make something that is smoky fresh
and have a little acid in it.
No, you absolutely need the acid. I have learned that. That's a real thing.
True.
In my own cooking, I figured that out.
Oh, it's acidic. It's got that acid in there, helps balance it out. Fresh. And it's smoky fresh. Yes. Yeah.
As a former English teachers, that's what we basically call an oxymoron.
We are bemused.
I don't know how it is smoky and fresh.
And fresh. How do we smell unstoppable?
We smell unstoppable. And
what other ways can we smell? You smell ignorant. You smell cheerful today. You smell
rambunctious. You smell ironic.
You smell,
huh?
You smell sarcastic right now.
You smell Gen X. Like Love's Baby Soft. Thank you very much.
Oh, Electric Youth. I would smell like
Electric Youth and Love's Baby.
Oh, what are the smells of Gen X? God, that opens a question. Dude, Love's Baby Soft for
Love's
sure.
Baby Soft. Colors.
Yeah. Colors, Benetton.
Sunflowers.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Polo.
Yep. I wore Electric Youth and Exclamation. That was one of my go-tos.
Oh, yeah.
That had kind of a Love's Baby Soft essence to it also, with kind of powdery smell.
I've never really I liked Love's Baby Soft, but then I moved on to, I've never done really well with florals. I had sunflowers for a while and I outgrew it. But then I liked, I think the more smoky fresh. scents
I
of
liked
like
my men. I liked my guys to smell smoky fresh myself.
of like red, you know. I liked I liked the red when I was a little bit older. And then I advanced into more advanced fragrances like Contradiction by Calvin Klein.
Musky is no longer a term. It is obsolete. You will for now you will be saying smoky fresh.
It's not musky. It's a hint of smoky fresh.
Smoky fresh. Oh, hey. Talk amongst yourself. I have a prop. Hold on.
A
I have to
prop.
find it.
This
Yeah,
could go.
I have.
This could go in so many directions right now.
Oh, I think I just built it up way bigger than it is. But let me take a look, see if I can find it fast. Hold on. It's in my jewelry box.
Okay, maybe less explanation, more getting the prop.
I'm working on it.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, found him on the first try. Check this out. Check this out, Gen Xers.
What is
Circa probably Christmas 1989-ish. It is the exclamation earrings that came with my exclamation perfume that Christmas. Still have them. Oh my gosh, they're going on
that
right
was
now.
how many times did you wear those as an English teacher?
Not enough. I'm so sad. They've been in
I
the
would have
back
worn them
of-
every day. I had a grammar lesson going on.
Oh, right.
Those
I
would have
do
been on.
remember. Yep, I took them out once in a while when we were studying exclamatory sentences, but not very often. And here's the best part. They're clips. They're clip-ons.
They're clips.
Yes, in case you did not have pierced ears. You know, the exclamation marketing group thought of everything. So it's amazing I still have them because clip-on earrings, I had big hair. Probably the one thing going for me was I had the huge shellacked hair that was sprayed into oblivion so it wouldn't move. Because if there had been any hair movement, these would have knocked off at some point. But look,
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Place your bets on how long until they hurt my ears. I give it 8 minutes.
3 minutes. That's all I'm giving it.
Oh my gosh.
And the question is, why did you keep them?
There are a few things in my jewelry armoire that have stuck with me for decades. Just a few. I have no idea why, but I kept these. I kept a couple other things too. Like I had an Esprit shirt that had, yes, Esprit. And it was a button-down shirt and it had vegetables all over it. And I just got rid of that this summer. I used to still pull it out and wear it.
I remember having one that had like 3 pieces of fruit just right over the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you talk about vegetables. But I didn't keep it.
It was weird.
I didn't keep that.
I think I kept my Esprit jeans for a good 20, 30 years too. Yeah, boy, I wore those. I remember my mom taking me shopping and I needed some black jeans or I wanted them or whatever. And I didn't have a lot of clothing, even in high school. It was pretty, I definitely had enough to dress up and we always dressed up for basketball games or other things that we were involved in. So I definitely had enough clothes, but nothing extravagant ever. And we went shopping the year I was a junior in high school, and every black pair I tried on, I did not love except for this pair of Esprit jeans, which were like $45, $50, which
back then that was way expensive. Yeah.
Oh, and in 1990, Jerry and Mary did not buy Becky $50 jeans. They didn't buy her $50 anything. And so I kind of threw a fit because I didn't like any of the other ones I tried on. I was, not throwing a fit, but just saying, I don't like these. These aren't good. These aren't good. And my mom caved and got me the Esprit jeans. And Mary, be happy because I wore those for 2 decades. Whether they were in or not, they were still being
worn.
Got
my $45 worth.
I did. I even dyed them again. I made them darker black again at one point. Oh, I know. Yeah. I have learned from the boomers and the Depression era people before them how to make something last. Oh, how many minutes has it been? My ears hurt.
3. I win. What I win, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
My ears hurt. And I'm out. Yeah.
And I'm out. It was a good time while it lasted.
Yeah, sure it was.
Yeah.
Well, once again,
Wonder-
we've gone down a weird path
Oh yeah. I
that
don't know. Were we
includes
supposed to be
Becky and
talking
her
about
props. Yes, exclamation point.
I'm sending them to you for Christmas next year. You never know. They'll be the traveling earrings.
Oh my, no, you know what? They're too precious. You need to keep those. You know, I think Ellie is wanting those. So you need to pass those down to the next generation.
I would love to see my daughter's face if I tried to give her those. She'd go, okay, Mom. I could just hear, what are these?
It'll be, yeah, I dare you. I double dare you to put them in her stocking next year.
Those are your church earrings, honey. You can
These
wear those.
are generational antiques.
You just made me think of something. When you and I were running around and going to Rochester, my housemate, okay, we went through this housemate, roommate, landlord / Jack.
Yes, just call him Jack. Just Jack.
Call him Jack. Just Jack. Jack put away all the Christmas stuff, which is so kind of him. So awesome. I forgot. I put Pop Rocks and Aftershocks candy in my own stocking this year because I knew nobody else was coming to play Santa for me. So I put some in there and I forgot to take it out. Jack packed up my stocking and it's
well, you know what the good news is about that? The good news is Pop Rocks will stand the test of time. You probably could have left them in there for another 50 years and you could they'd still work. They still taste the same.
I rediscovered them. Well, so okay, in the Gen X candy world, there were Pop Rocks, which everybody knows about, and then there's Aftershocks, which are just like Pop Rocks, but different brand. Aftershock is my favorite.
Why?
I like that. It has a little bit more tart tangy to it than sweet like the Pop Rocks do. And so this summer when my mom came to visit, Jack and I took her to Minnesota's largest candy store, which is huge and it's awesome, and would love to take you there sometime because it is a trip down nostalgia lane. It was so fun having my mom there and even Jack too. My mom and Jack are like 5 years apart. They're both pretty close in age. And just hearing the exclamations of them, like, oh, I haven't seen these for 50 years or 60 years. That was so fun. And then I found myself in it too. And I found a package of Aftershocks and I was so excited. I haven't seen those. You can find Pop Rocks pretty easily, but
you can order Pop Rocks. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have a new store here in the town where I live, and it has a bunch of toys, nostalgic toys and stuff in it. And they have some candies and they had Aftershocks. So I grabbed some and put them in my stocking. And now they're in the basement stored away.
They'll still be there next year and they're going to taste the same. There is not an expiration date on
it is
a
my
lot
new tradition
of Gen X candy. There just isn't.
It's true.
Because we probably should not have been eating those things.
It's true.
But they were good, man.
I truly think that we should take a BoatHouse Girls trip to the biggest candy store in Minnesota. It is awesome.
Because what I'm looking forward to finding is diabetes.
Well, this place will give it to you.
Great. Can't wait.
With a smile.
Yay.
You don't have
diabetes.
You don't buy it all. You could just look at it and be nostalgic.
Okay. You're going to put a Gen Xer in a nostalgic candy store and be like, just look, don't touch. Well, that is rather reminiscent of my childhood.
Good. It works. Honestly,
you can look at it, but don't touch.
That trained response kicks in. Oh, I can't
have that. It's too much.
You can hear that inner Betty saying, nope, no, don't. You get one. You get one.
You can have one.
That's just that's one. It. I'm starting my own new Gen X tradition for Christmas. Every year we're having Aftershocks and wearing the exclamation earrings. What else could you ask for?
Grandma's stuffing.
Grandma's stuffing.
Yes, that's what we can have.
And Wham on the TV on a loop singing Last Christmas. George Michael.
Okay. I think on that note, we should wrap up this episode.
I think we can do that. We have
I
rambled
think
enough.
so. But once again, we want to thank everybody who took care of us, from Sean and I on our trip number 1 to Becky and I on our trip number 2 to the
Yeah,
Great North.
thanks.
To the Great North. We
Family
appreciate
time
it.
really is good.
Yes, and we apologize for our inability to do anything the second day of our visit.
We were just resting our eyes.
We were just resting our eyes, and we also agree that we will be enforcing that curfew if we show up again.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm
Until
thinking
next
like 9
time.
o'clock.
Oh, right. Anything before 3:30 is a win starting next year. I think.
Not anything, but pretty close.